Hey, coming to you with some very exciting news. Interest rates are going up. I know. Blair, how can this be exciting? Well, number one, okay, frankly, it's not. But just like we tried to convince our kids of all kinds of shenanigans, that's what the Fed is doing here. So interest rates have to rise, number one. We're dealing with a lot of economic factors, okay? But in terms of the housing market, okay, supply is still extremely low. Like in Acadiana, we have less than 1,000 homes on the market. That is crazy. That is so low considering like 2 years ago, I think we had almost double the amount of homes on the market. Even whenever the interest rates dipped extremely low, like in the high twos, mid twos, we still had like 1,200, 1,500 homes on the market at that point, okay? All those homes have been pretty much bought up. There's a few, sitting a little bit, and there's different reasons for that. It's case by case basis. But what we're looking at now is the buyers who didn't take advantage of those historically low interest rates are now going to have to purchase with interest rates that were pre-pandemic, which were still historically low. So what we now consider high interest rates, and it's all because the feds have anchored us in this weird world where interest rates are in the twos for a first-time home buyer, which is like unheard of. Even before the pandemic, if you had a 3.25% or 3.5% or even 4.25% interest rate, that's a really low interest rate considering the home I grew up in was financed at 11%, and my parents refinanced multiple times to get it down to 7%, okay? So if you look at the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of factors going on here. But what this means for sellers, number one, is that the buying power of your potential buyers is going down. So while we saw home prices climb during the pandemic because the demand was there, supply was low. That's how economics works. I'm not a rocket scientist or an economist, so don't ask me about rockets, but I know a little bit about the economy with my MBA. Also, just don't ask me about economics in general because, again, I'm not an economist, but I've been paying attention. And the supply did not meet the demand. So the prices went up, okay? Prices now will plateau even though interest rates are going up because the comps for the homes sold previously, like during the pandemic, set the new standard. That set the bare minimum of what the price floor is for the housing market, okay? Now, that is considered a seller's market, all right? There will come a time whenever it will be a buyer's market, okay? And that means that the buyers will have the upper hand, but that price floor is already set. So I predict prices will plateau at this new price floor, which is higher than pre-pandemic price points, okay? Buyers are still going to have to use their money wisely, of course, and you still are going to have to expect, to come to closing with your down payment, pay your own closing costs, things like that are very common in a seller's market. I think that'll kind of ease up a little bit as we go into the buyer's market, but you're still going to need that down payment. You're still going to expect the price points to be higher than they were pre-pandemic. And I think that the interest rates are going to go back to what we call normal, even though they're saying that they're going to rise. It just means that those of you who didn't take advantage of buying during the pandemic for whatever the reason was, missed out. And we really can't afford as an economy to go back to the pandemic interest rates with the supply levels being so low. Your buyer's agents are tired. We tired, y'all. Okay, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.